The People First podcast is a show presented by people with learning disabilities for our friends and community. We talk about issues that are important to us and interview interesting people to find out the information. This is our way to make a difference and have our voices heard.
Hello and welcome to People First podcast. Today we are speaking to two guests who are joining us from Makaton Charity, Alex and Leanne. We are looking forward to learning a lot about more about Makaton and why it is important and sharing that with you. Our listeners, welcome to both of you.
What is that good sound? And how is it different to BSL?
Well, thank you for that question. Hello, everybody. It's lovely to see you all and to be here. So the difference between Makaton and BSL. So the big thing is Makaton is not a sign language like British Sign Language. So Makaton is a communication system, and we use signs, symbols, and speech together in a spoken word order. And we also use visual cues to support and not replace the spoken language. So sign language, like BSL, in the UK is a naturally evolved language in the deaf community. So BSL is a language in its own right. It's got its own grammar, word order, and regional variations. So a person who is deaf or has hearing loss and communicates with sign language and accesses services for hearing impaired people will typically use BSL, which is a natural native language, and it's more appropriate than to use BSL than Makaton. Now, many of the signs used in Makaton are drawn from the southeast dialect of BSL, but there are some big differences. So Makaton is used by and to support hearing people of all ages with communication difficulties and learning disabilities. So I hope that answers that question for you.
What is the history of Makaton and where did it start?
So back in 1968, Makaton's founder, a lady called Margaret Walker, started working in a long-stay hospital for people with learning and communication difficulties. And Margaret noticed that many of the individuals living there could not voice their wants or needs. And being a speech and language therapist, Margaret knew how impactful manual signs could be. And after some observation and research, she introduced around 100 key signs to the hospital. And Margaret's theory was confirmed. These individuals could learn signs, even as adults who had never experienced signing before. All the individuals became more alert, more engaged, and some even began to make speech sounds and form words, something nobody had ever expected them to do. Next, Margaret went out to see school children in the community and in their homes, and Margaret noticed some really similar results. And this is when, in 1972, she devised the first 400 Makaton signs and called it the core vocabulary. She also set up a charitable trust called the Makaton Charity. Margaret carried on her research and introduced symbols into the Makaton communication program, as well as developing even more signs and symbols to meet the needs of different people. Her work continued, and in 2018, we had our first Makaton-friendly town in the UK, and since then, many more Makaton-friendly or Makaton-aware places have popped up all over the UK. And in 2019, for all her hard work, Margaret Walker was awarded an MBE by the Queen for her dedication to the creation of Makaton. And now, today, in 2024, we have a vocabulary of over 40,000 Makaton symbols and signs, which is amazing. I hope that answers that question for you.
Just mention to help for those of people who use it.
So I've used Makaton most of my life. As a child, I didn't learn to speak until I was 8 years old. So I have lots of memories of having trouble communicating. And I could never let anybody know that I was hungry or that I had an earache. And I remember those frustrations as clear as if they were yesterday, the tears that I cried, and how the only way sometimes I knew how to communicate something like an earache was to bang my head against a wall, which wasn't very good. I felt really isolated in a world that was full of people. But I also have memories of being taught Makaton and finally being able to tell someone I had a sore throat or ask for another drink. I could, for the first time, make friends and communicate with them. I was happy and I was felt like I had finally been freed from that invisible cage that I felt I was living in. I no longer felt alone or scared. And my story is not unique. I hear people all the time tell similar stories to mine, how they went from feeling like an alien in their school to telling jokes and laughing with their friends, or how they could finally let somebody know they didn't like sweet corn, right through to some of the most basic things like being able to say good night and I love you to a parent. Imagine never being able to do that. That's how Makaton helps. It is for many the difference between being involved in life and sitting down and just watching life go by, not being able to be part of it.
What kind of training do Microsoft give out the people?
We like to get everybody involved with Makaton training, and we do lots of it. So our training pathway starts with the standardized level 1 workshop. So this is a great place to begin on your Makaton journey, which we like to call it because we've got so many different things that you can learn about and different workshops for everybody to come along and enjoy. So the level 1 workshop, our starting place, gives a broad introduction to Makaton and teaches the signs and symbols for approximately 120 words and concepts to support communication about everyday activities and objects and a person's immediate needs. Now, level 1 can be followed by levels 2, 3, and 4. Then each workshop covers 2 stages of the core vocabulary. And this builds in stages of what was learned in the previous level. So we always go back and recap and support everybody through their Makaton journey with us. Throughout the level 1 to 4 workshops, we cover a range of different concepts. And some of these include animals, people, transport, places, school-based concepts. But there's lots of information about this on the Makaton Charity website, www.makaton.org, where you can find lots of information about the training there. But the really exciting thing is we deliver training both online and face-to-face. So there's a different way for everybody to be able to access the training, which is super. So we do offer some other workshops. We've got Watch My Needs, Safeguarding, Know and Grow, but there's lots of different information about that all on the website for you.
What experience is, oh God.
Yeah, Caitlin was just saying she's learned Makaton a few years ago at work, didn't you?
Oh, brilliant. Well done, Kayla. Super. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. What was your favourite sign?
Think about that one now, Caitlin.
Never think about that one, yeah.
The was Hollywood.
Yeah, a useful one.
A really useful one, absolutely.
But yeah.
I think my favourite sign is chocolate.
Chocolate. Oh, a good sign. Yeah, absolutely. I think my favourite sign is more, because I like to keep asking for more. Yeah, more chocolate.
And a cup of tea.
Oh yes, a cup of tea, very important. Yeah, tea.
I say it's important that as many people learn about Makaton as possible.
Oh, I love this question. It's a brilliant one. The more people who know Makaton, the more freedom, power, and autonomy a Makaton user has, the more independence they can gain. They have the ability to express their views at work or school, make friends, have relationships as an adult, ask questions at their own medical appointments, or order a drink in a cafe. And all these normal everyday things are easy for a Makaton user to do as long as everybody around them knows Makaton. Quite often, what we see is that it's not the Makaton user's ability that stops them from being able to order a drink in the cafe, but it's that that cafe don't know Makaton. And therefore, the more people who know Makaton, the less restricted and the less isolated Makaton users are.
What inspired you personally to work with Makaton Charity?
Oh, what inspired me to work for the charity? For me, having used Makaton all my life and seeing how much it helped me as a child and even now as an adult achieve things and navigate life, I wanted to be part of it to help others have the same positive experiences as myself. Leanne, how about you?
Also, for me, I've worked in education for a long time, and for me to be able to support children, young people, and adults to communicate has been a wonderful, wonderful privilege to be able to do. And my daughter uses symbols, Makaton symbols, so we use a lot of Makaton at home, and I love everything about Makaton. It's my favourite thing ever, and it's just the most wonderful opportunity to be able to support everybody, to be able to communicate, and as Alex said, how, you know, opportunities, accessibility, inclusion, and to see my daughter growing up in a world where Makaton will surround her is just so wonderful. And I'm so proud to be part of the charity and work with the team and all the tutors and to meet so many different people. It's just wonderful.
The film of nine. What are some of the talented people when Makaton might be?
So that's a really fantastic question, because we know there are some challenges that people learning Makaton might face, but the charity are always actively working to look where these challenges are and to be able to help and support as much as we can where possible. So one of the challenges that we've seen is due to accessing of training. So what we've got is a research study at the moment. It's very exciting. It's the Makaton Impact Survey up in the north. And we're thrilled with the positive responses that we've received so far. So the project aim is to gather valuable insights from people with autism and autistic people and people with Down syndrome and their support networks, to see what these barriers may be in different areas. Is it the cost of accessing training, which we've got a very exciting Makaton Foundation launching, but I will talk to you a little bit more about that in one of our later questions. Is it awareness of Makaton, like Alex has said previously, when you go into a cafe? Is it because there's no Makaton there, because there's no awareness of Makaton? Also, consistency of using it. Is everybody using Makaton? How can we access more people to use Makaton so we've got consistency when we go everywhere, to be able to go to the cafe, to the shop, to school, on a train, wherever we may be going. And also we need to remember that if we don't use it when we've learnt it, then we're going to lose it. So we need to keep using it every day to make sure that we've got it there. Use it, don't lose it.
Find me anywhere you go. but autism and deaf people.
Yeah.
It would be.
What is your favourite part about working with the Makaton Charity?
Oh, what's my favorite part? I think the fact that I'm helping to create a bigger and brighter future for Makaton users all over the country. I faced many challenges and frustrations growing up having a communication difficulty, and I want to ensure that people today and in the future don't face those same challenges and frustrations. So it's being part of the solution that I really enjoy. But also, I work with an absolutely amazing team of people. Everybody is so supportive of each other. I can't imagine working anywhere else now. Leanne, how about you?
Well, I think, Alex, you just answered that really perfectly, because that's exactly what I would have said. Everything is the best bit about working for the Makaton Charity, and the most important part is to see and to help everybody, which is just wonderful. It's just, yeah, I don't think I could want to work anywhere else either. So, yes.
What are some of Makaton Charity goals and plans for the future?
So, for this one, what are some of the Makaton Charity's goals and plans for the future? Well, there's quite a few of them. Now, what we'd like to do is grow the impact the charity to support 200,000 users, which is a huge number. We'd like to have a community approach, looking at schools, colleges, workplaces, trying to encourage different places to become Makaton friendly or a Makaton aware place. So Makaton is a whole life approach. Now, the next one we've got is expanding our membership community, providing a single place to find solutions, help and support. The really exciting one is we are launching a Makaton Foundation. So this is to ensure that no one is left behind on their Makaton journey. So we know that cost can be a barrier to training, and this is where we are actively working on this. We also want to enable Makaton to be better accessible. So we are launching new digital services and apps, so we go in the modern way. And Makaton Places, finally, encouraging 5,000 organisations to join the Makaton community. So we're hoping by doing this that organisations can join, meaning inclusion, independence and accessibility. Then we'll have the visibility of Makaton, the Makaton communication programme, and Makaton spreading out there even further into our communities, which is just wonderful.
If people want the information about Makaton, where can they find it?
Ooh, so there's quite a few places that we can find information about Makaton. So you can visit our website, www.makaton.org. You can send us an email in to help@makaton.org. But exciting thing, on our website, you will find all information about Makaton, our training programs. We've got a range of free downloads, which are brilliant, in our library. There's an online shop, which sells really great things. We've got published resources. We've got details of membership, and our membership is super because it gives you access to online resources, a library, and a support community. Now, if you're on social media, you can also follow the Makaton Charity for regular updates and a free sign of the week video too, which is brilliant. And of course, if you do have any questions, we're always here to answer them, either by telephone or via email at help@makaton.org.
I used to use Makaton when I was younger.
Did you? Did you use it at school?
Not before I went to school.
Before you went to school? Wow. So you must be a pro then.
What was your favourite Makaton sign then, Stephen?
I've got
I
one.
haven't got one. All of them.
Yeah.
Brilliant, Stephen. I think I'd agree with that. They all are fabulous signs, aren't they? They're really good signs in there.
I still do think cup of tea and some chocolate are two of the
And
best.
wine.
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
wine, yeah.
Brilliant. Yes.
that's all the questions we have for today on the show. We would like to again thank Alex and Leanne for taking the time to speak to us today. We really appreciate you coming on the show to share things about Makaton with us and our listeners. Before we end the show, is there anything else you would like to add?
I would just like to thank you all for inviting us here today. It's really a lovely opportunity to meet you all, to hear about your Makaton experiences, and to share some information about Makaton now and where we want to be in the future. So thank you very much for inviting us today.
Remember to comment, like, share on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. You will find us by searching for People First Broadcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.